welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. Today we're doing Fancy Sawtooth Star. Fancy Sawtooth Star. Now this idea was given to me by one of the viewers, and I was like, oh, we could play around with this and just have all sorts of fun with. So yes, this is what we've done today, is we've made a variation of the star that is to be pieced today. Now, if you make, it's a 6.5 inch unfinished or 6 inch finished. So if you want a 12.5 inch box, you'd have to make 4 of them. But they're really kind of a lot of fun to do. So let's try to make this happen today. But first, let's do our shout out. The shout out is Suzy at Revelation Quilts, and her YouTube link is going to be in our show notes below, along with the So Yeah group. They're doing their charity drive for Alaska. Now, the people that participated in this charity drive last year, they just had a hoot. Anybody I talked to that did this, they were having so much fun giving charity quilts to the So Yeah guys in Vegas, or I think there was another quilt store in Alaska. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave their .com so you can get more information from them directly. But the charity drive is happening, and I'm so happy to be able to announce it to you. Now, what else we've got? Okay, share, like, and subscribe. Make your comments. We know life is busy, so if all you've got time to do is leave a heart, that helps our analytics. We love hearing from you. And subscribe, because they say half of you aren't subscribed, but you know, we'd love to have you as a subscriber too. That would be great. Making comments, all that stuff, like I say, helps our analytics and pushes our videos forward, so we can help continue bringing you free patterns and all sorts of fun during the week. We have a Facebook group, and we have fabric exchanges by country, numerous fun community chats. There's lots of stuff going on. Plus we do the same thing, like ask questions, show pictures, all the stuff the regular Facebook groups do. We also have a virtual sewing room that is hosted by Discord. And if you want to join that sewing room, you just ask the admins for an invitation once you download Discord, and they can make it happen. There's lots of people in there sometimes that we just have so much fun. Also, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds about elements of design, making charity quilts, and working with your scrap fabric. So if any of those topics resonate with your group, please, send me a note either by email or message me through Facebook. I would be happy to make an accommodation and try and talk to your group. Also, shout outs. If you guys find somebody in a quilting community that's just starting out, or somebody is working really hard and needs a shout out, let me know. Either email me or message me by Facebook. My email address is under the About tab on my YouTube channel, so everybody's got it. Also, Quilt Bingo will start sometime in August. We've got Spring Fling with strings filmed out to July 30th. So after that, I want to present a couple other things, and then we'd go straight into Quilt Bingo. Now, Quilt Bingo is a skill builder. So if you're a beginner, you're going to have beginner blocks that you can work on. And if you're intermediate or expert, you also have those blocks to work on. So everybody's quilt is going to look a little different. But a beginner doesn't have to stick with her beginner blocks. She wants to try an intermediate block or an expert block, she can. And if an intermediate wants to try an expert block, that's fine too. And if an expert has 13 minutes to put together a block, you can try the beginners or the intermediate blocks. It's fine. Everybody's quilt is going to look different. And that's the idea too. Like, we have fun and we play around and we do other things. And there's no real rules. All you have to do is follow your bingo card that will be released to you. So anyways, I think we've covered everything, and I gave you my shout out at Revelation, Suzy at Revelation Quilts. So come on in, let's get to the sewing of the Fancy Sawtooth Star. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and I've got just one printout of this. It says print 4 times you want a 12.5 inch block. Well, we're gonna be happy with a 6.5 inch block for this. Now, basically I've chose red and black. And I think the blacks I'm going to use is, this right here. I really like Let's see if I got one with a bit of red in it or not. Maybe not. Oh, this. This would be perfect. This would be perfect. It's got a little bit of white. And we don't need a whole great big bin here. So I've got some red, white, and black. That's what we're using today. And I thought, okay, we got to play with this. But first, paper, scissors to cut your pattern out. Because, yes, everybody needs to cut this pattern out. And there. So, now I've scored it. I've scored it with my tracing wheel. So what happens is you can kind of see this from the back, that I've got all these little marks there. And that's really important. It helps you see from the back what your pattern looks like, but it also helps with folding the fabric, right? So, and unfortunately this comes in 5 pieces, but it's kind of worth it. It's a nice little star. A viewer showed me this, and I'm like not sure where this came from. So I'm not sure if it's a patented version or what it is, but I, played around with it and we made a couple changes on it. So hopefully I won't be breaking any copyright issues. Okay, so there we are. That's all the paper pieces. There's 5 pieces here. Now, one of the things I tell people is if you're going to lose track of what you're doing, mark it down, right? So you can mark it in colored pencils. I want this to be red. I want this to be red. This to be white. Well, not really white, but you know what I mean. Red, red, white. White, 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 red. And just, copy it. Just copy it on there like that, and you probably won't mess it up. White, white, red, red. Now, red, 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 and red. And this will be black. Like the little triangle thing will be black here. So that's the easy way to deal with a bunch of scraps all at the same time. Now, I've been making tulips, so everything in here is so discombobulated. I'm going to have to dig for a bit to even find stuff that's going to be big enough to use. So forgive me about that. But yeah, we've had fun using up this little bit of stash here. And like I say, I have had a lot of fun going through here and finding really cool stuff to use in my little scrap journey, right? So I think it's pretty cool. Well, some of this might be big enough too. Well, this will be big enough. Well, definitely big enough for the center star. So let's get some of this out of here. Okay, we want to make the star really old school scrappy. So if it's big enough, it fits. That kind of old school scrappy. That's what I'm talking about. I love doing that. Old school scrappy. Okay, so number 1 goes here, and we have a cute little guy hanging out, and we're just going to lay him down just like so. And we can put a pin in him. Now, when you're pinning, if you do a lot of pinning on your projects, what happens is it makes it curve, right? Like it makes it curve like this, right? So it gives your work a slight curve. So if you're doing a lot of really tiny piecing, pinning sometimes is not the best idea. But in this case, we just have to let it go. Okay, so with this, I'm going to make this piece here just big enough. I could probably do 2 of them just like that. Okay, do 2 at once. It'll save me some time later on, because this is the only place I use black. Now, so we're going to do this up here. Now, there. There, so we're going to go right across this block, just like so. There. Oops, let me get this ruler out of the way. I don't need it until later. So we're going to just push this right under. Come on. There we go. Now I hold it and then I let it go along the line and then I hold it again. Because what I'm doing now is creating a knot. You need a sharp needle, reducing your stitch length. Those are very, very important. Now I need a large weight, a larger weight, and I might use, oh, I'm going to use some of this fabric. I'm going to use some of the stripes. That will work just grand. So I'm just going to go like this, and then I'm going to put the pin in here, and a pin in there. I'm going to make all 4 of these stripes. That'll be good. So now, oops, got another one. There we go. Now, if you have any salvages or whatever, you should try and get rid of them right away so that they're not interfering. What will happen with a stripe is it'll bend it'll make your eye go funny sometimes. Sometimes stripes are really, really weird. But yes, getting rid of the selvage. Your selvage shrinks at a different rate than the rest of your cotton. So if you leave selvages in your work, you're not going to be happy with the results. I can tell you that right now. And I'm just going to move that up just a hair on both sides. Pin it in place because it's fast. This is going to be a very fast quilt. And the last one. There. And of course I got more selvage. There. Okay, now, there. So if they're all different campy wampus, that's fine. Okay, now, reds. Let's get a bigger red. Okay, let's get some bigger reds going here. Because I want them all to be larger, like larger scale. Okay, so let's just... I'm going to do this, so I have a larger red. Okay, and 2 is on this side. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to lay it across like so. Lay it across and run it through. There. Okay, and get that off. There we go. My machine didn't like that all of a sudden, so I was wondering why. Okay, 2. Oh, here's two smaller pieces. That'll work. That'll work better. Oh, look, there's another piece that will match that one. Okay, so 2 on this side. No, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do it the easy way because I have so much red. I have so much red I don't even know what to do with it. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now, let's get back to that. This one here, the center one, is the one that's going to cause all the issues. So, pull out that pin, now that we've got, and we're now going to go to 3, and we're just going to give it a little tug, make sure it's all there. There we go. And throw it back. I can't throw out stuff now anymore. It's like, oh my god, it's like a sickness. Okay, so, okay. There. And you're sewing on the inside between the 1 and the 3. And then holding it up again. There we go. Come on, there we go. And get the other side. And just push this out of the way. I'm not even going to concern myself with the smaller pieces. Right? Okay, let's go. Oh wait, let's do this. Cut this in half. And then go like that. And cut this in half. There, throw that back. So now, all of these pieces should have one side that's deep red and the other side that is a floral. So that'll look nice. There. Here we go. So, I'm going to take this and we're just going to start putting them down. Because I know I've got way too much fabric here for this piece, so it's oversized, it's fine. Don't stress about stuff like that, because when you're doing foundation paper piecing, sometimes you're doing it because there's so many weird little angles, you know, that you just can't do it any other way, right? But that shouldn't, like, it shouldn't be a problem for this one, right? Because you've got lots of stuff here we can work with. Okay, I'm just going to put that over. There we go. There, get that out of the way. Normally I don't pin my stuff when I'm doing this, but I thought pinning after the, you know, we do more than one taping a day. So when we're in here doing taping, the last video we filmed in here, I had nothing but grief, and I just like, wow, okay, yeah, let's take an easy way, foolproof way of doing this. So, you know, you can watch where I messed up on another video. And I messed up 3 times in one block, but that was a different video. But it was very spectacular. I'm not sure when they're dropping, so I'm not going to tell you what times they are, or when they're coming. Anyways, that's there. Now, we want to put on this one, we want to put 4 and 5 on next. And they're both in black. So we want to fold the 4. Fold for 4. I saw this and I thought, what a pretty block. But I thought, ooh, let's add a lot of drama to it. Drama is good in blocks, especially like when you can do like a red, white, and black. I just love red, white, and black combinations. So I thought, oh, we could do that, and that would be beautiful. Now I don't need something that big for this one. Oops. So I'm going to throw that back into the basket because it's a fairly decent size. And have this one go as 4. And yes, we're way over, so that's good. Oops. Okay. There we go. Now, here. Okay. Now we need whites. Now, do we want to continue? I have enough to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have enough to do all of these in the same white, and I think I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. Yes, I will. So next one we're doing is 4, and I'm just going to trim this so I don't have to have such a large piece. I don't have to worry about having such a large piece there. So there's 1. Okay, wait a minute. This goes like this. It'll be big enough, right? Maybe. Okay, there. It's okay. I'll show you guys how to poverty piece. If need be, one can poverty piece. And what I mean by poverty piece is take the same color fabric and you poverty piece the balance of the fabric. So I'm just going to get this one here trimmed. Okay. Poverty piecing is one of these tricks that people use that like making scrappy stuff, is to extend their fabric. That looks so cute with that little guy in there. I hope I don't cut off his head. No, I won't. Okay, he's just a little offset, but that's okay. All right. There, now. So there we go. And I finger press this out, and I have missed covering this area here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply trim this off and put this piece right here like that, and go like a quarter, scant quarter, you know, 1/8 seam allowance, and that's going to cover that corner. Very simple. Very, very simple. You don't have to stress about this at all. Okay, now, where are we at? We're at 5. I need 6 is up here. Forgot where I was going. Okay, now I need another red. I need red, enough red to go all the way around. This, I should have this. Okay. There. Ooh, I got this right here. That's pretty. That would make a nice little addition. Okay, so all I'm doing is cutting it like this and then cutting it in half like this to give me 4 triangles, oversized triangles. Now what that's going to do is going to allow me to finish this. So I'm going to set this like so, and I want this side up because this is a double-sided fabric, right? It's got one pattern on one side, another pattern on another. So I want the other pattern up, which I can do. Okay. Now, I don't think you guys saw what I did, so I might have to do it again. See this here, right? All the stripes are still going the right way, and it might just be, most people just think, oh, it's just a glitch in the fabric. Yes and no. Basically, I took off one side, and I was going to show you again what I did. Because we can poverty piece. We're working with scraps. It's okay to poverty piece. Okay, so what you want to do is, come on, give me 1. Not 7. Okay. You want to go like this. So you want the stripes going the same direction. So you're going to put this on. Now you know that this is not going to work because it's going to be a little shy up here. But that's okay. So you flip it over. There, you flip it over. And you sew this all together. Just like so. There we go. There. Okay. Trim all that off. Now, oops, there we go. And we want the white up. White and red up. There we go. Just like so. Now, getting back to this piece here, it's going to be a little shy. Right? We know this. It's going to be a little shy. But that's okay, because it's all the same stripe. And the same stripe sometimes adds a unity. Now, this edge here, right here, is where the shy spot is. So what you're going to do is you're just going to trim off something, and you're going to sew it like that, right? Now, if you're really good, ooh, I might not have enough. Well, we'll try. We'll see. We'll see how much we have. We'll do a scant quarter and see where we're at. Okay. And we'll just do this again. I do have an extra piece here, so if I really mess up, I can always just redo it. Okay. There. Oops. There we go. The other ones, by the way, are done because they only had 3 pieces, so they're good. There we go. And we want this just like so. There we go. Now, so this now covers that little area there, right? That's what you need covered. So that one's done now as well. So, okay, back to the center square. Doesn't matter which way you go on this one. They're all kind of the same. Oops. Oh, come on. Really? Yeah. Those kind of days. I probably am going to have the most colorful stuffing for an inside bed. Or a pet bed at some point. And yes, I got my little guy in the middle. Cute little fussy cutting going on. Okay. And let me put that out. Just like so. Yeah, these pieces are way too big. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Now. There, and we are shy, so we are going to trim off a healthier chunk. There we go, get that out of the way. And we're going to just lay this down, just like so. Yeah, it's going to look like a little glitch in the fabric, or glitch in the stripe, which is exactly where we want it to be. And if you do all 4 of them, it looks perfect. Okay, here we go. Now, last bit that goes on. Okay. There. Okay, now, last one of these. Ooh, don't do that, don't do that. Go this way. Okay, now the last one. This works perfect. Okay. There we go, and I'm going to move it up just a hair, just like so. Let me get that all in. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the stay stitching, but I have to iron this stuff because it kind of is not sitting really nice, so I'm going to iron it and stay stitch it, and then I'll come back and we will then do the assembly of the block, because once you see this block, this is such a gorgeous block, beautifully pieced block. Anyway, so let me get the last little bit of poverty piecing on here, and then we'll take off to do our stay stitching and ironing and everything like that, and then we'll come back and do the assembly of the block. Okay, so here it all is. I told you I would be doing my stay stitching and all this, and I thought, no, I'm going to assemble the block and then do one big stay stitching. That's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these pieces together here. Now, they slide in, because one was put on one way and one was put on the other way, like this one is the last one on the block and this one, they're going to nest, right? So you should end up with some really serious sharp points here on this block, right? Because I haven't lost my mind when I was sewing them, but there we go. So anyways, this is where we're doing. Now we're going to have a nice sharp point both in the bottom and in the top because they nest. How clever is that? Okay. And now I'm just going to do, and see, just like that, because they're nesting. They're nesting, right? So now this goes a certain way too. The same, well, this one goes, this direction came on last, and this one went on last. So that what will happen is that they will nest when you put them together with the papers on. Okay, there we go. And we'll just run that through just like so. There we go. And right over there. More pet bed material. Now, when we get to this, okay, when we get to this, this one came, wait a minute here. This one came last, and this one came last, right? Because you put them in opposite directions, then you're going to have those things nesting for you, right? So, I've got one that goes like this, which I'm going to run through. And now, there's a couple ways you can handle the back. I prefer my backs to be pressed open, which is, you know, it lies just a hair flatter, right? So, I mean, it's up to you kind of where you want to be. But when you're sewing these together, keep that in mind. If you have them pressed open, they lay flatter. Then you end up with some nice pieces here. Let me just get this one pressed open. And you just have to sew it pressed open. You don't have to... There. Here we go. Now... Okay. Now the last piece goes on. Now you just want to take this and press it open. Make sure that it gets opened, right? Because that's going to be important. Now this as well, when you're taking off your paper and when you're doing your stay stitching, make sure that this one is also pressed open. It does lie flatter. It really does. Now, let's not make this mistake and have it go the wrong way. Now, another way of doing this, if you really want to do it this way, right? Let's say you're making a big quilt and you really wanted a whole bunch of beautiful stars just lining up perfectly. You put your needle right dead center of that pin, and then you put your needle in dead center of this pin, and you wiggle it about so it looks absolutely perfect. And then you can double pin it if you need to. Right? Now you can also pin at your pivot points here as well to line up even more. Like you can pin where the white went on to the red. This mark right here, and it goes right like this. Down 1/4 of an inch, and it'll go right there. So you know you've got that perfect, everything's nesting up. Now this is what they call precision pinning, but you know, for what I'm doing, I do not need a lot of precision pinning. And I needed to go right through. Yes, it did. Perfect. So now, if you wanted to, let's say you're doing lots of these, you would take those double-ended pins, and I'll try and remember to show them to you. You'd take your double-ended pins and you would try very hard to make sure everything matches up on those pins. Okay, now this has got to stay open on the bottom. There's a lot going on in the bottom. And this this one. Not so much. Ugh. Come on. Let's do this. Sometimes the pins make it a little more difficult to sew, but that's okay. We do get into more precision pinning and whatnot. We can in the New York Beauty ones or the Quilt Bingo, because I think that would be good for everybody to understand how that precision pinning works. And it's just a skill you practice. I mean, the more practice you do, the better you are. Okay, so now, here we go. We're done all our pinning, and we're now going to do our stay stitching. And we're going to just finger press this open, because, like I say, that's where it's going to lie flattest, is open. And it's a good way to break up all these seams too in here, right? I mean, you can, you know, once it's all, your papers are all taken off and everything, you can definitely go through and, you know, use your clapper. Now you want to just go 1/4 inch in the seam allowance, and you want to make sure all of those edges stay open or sewn open. And my foot now is running away from me again. Okay, so here we go. Like if you were doing lots of these and making lots of red and white quilts with black accents, you could have just like all sorts of fun with the colors and, you know, making each block very, very scrappy. It would be gorgeous. Okay, and last little bit. There you go. There. Now, like I say, you can see where the advantages are. Now, when you're pulling on, there's one little thing that got flipped over, so I'm just going to flip it like that. Just going to trim it and clip it and push it into place. You would remove your, when you're coming to remove your papers on this, you remove these first. These little ones here in the seam allowance first, right? So, anyways, let's get to our big ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our Fancy Sawtooth Star, and yes, the center is a perfect little person, you know, holding up their arms in black and red, and I just thought, let's have some fun with this, and we picked some strange colors, and we put it all together, and it all worked out great. Now, I promised to show you the fancy pins. Now, these fancy pins, they're by Clover, and they are 2-pronged. Now you have 2 prongs on these, and I doubt very much if you'll even get to see them because we're so far away from the camera. But what they do is they prong along. No, it's not going to focus. Okay, I'm gonna, can we get a little closer here? We'll get a little closer. We'll just get closer. Hang on, okay. See, there's 2 prongs on that pin, right, like this. Oops, you can't see it right there. Can you see those prongs there? Like that, just like that. There's 2 prongs, and the head is shaped like a loop, just like a loop, just like that. Okay, so that once you poke down your pin, then you put this pin on either side of that pin, and your point doesn't move. Now, we can do some of this kind of work during the Quilt Bingo. You know, we'll occasionally do one where, you know, you'll see an expert block done where you do the precision piecing this way, and, you know, like you match up your points this way. This is what people do when they're putting quilts in quilt shows. They match all their points with these precision pins. So, and they are the thinnest gauge of pin you've ever met. Like, you can puncture yourself with this and go, gee, why does that feel funny? And you look down the pins in your arm or in your thumb or whatever. So they're kind of dangerous because they're so fine. But anyway, that's what a precision pin is, and that's how you would make all your points. These points turned out pretty good, I think, just by sewing them where they nest on an angle. And I know I tried to show you that where one goes in this way and the other one goes in this way, but you'll see it when you start sewing them together. Okay, anyways, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead and life is treating you so well. and everything around you is great. Okay, you take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye. My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your lives, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.